from Soulshine Yoga, and I've been asked by one of my regular class members out there in the real world to present a short video on how we can release tension from our neck and shoulders. So that's what we're going to do. Obviously I can't be there with you to guide you or adjust you, so I hand you the responsibility to please listen to your body, work within your limitations. Always I'll offer modifications to make poses more accessible, sometimes to give you a little bit more of a challenge if you want to do that. Above all, have fun, enjoy the practice and breathe. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start in a seated position and you'll want to have a block handy. So just have the block somewhere close by, you don't need it just now. I'm just going to sit nice and tall, let the shoulders release down, close the eyes and just come to connect with your breath. If you're not comfortable sat cross-legged, do by all means straighten out the legs at any point here. Just feeling the contact of your hips, of your feet on the floor. Feeling the length of the spine reaching up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Slow your breath down. Starting to feel really present in the body now. We're going to open the eyes. We're just going to take some nice grounding breaths. Inhale, the arms float overhead. Exhale, just bring the hands down. Imagine you're pushing down into water, palms pressing down. Inhale again, the arms float up. And as you breathe out, slowly lower the hands down. Let's do that once more. Inhale, arms float up. As you exhale, slowly release the hands. Let the hands rest on the knees now. We're just going to take some lovely shoulder circles, lifting your shoulders right up to your earlobes, circling back, down and round. Good. And release. Let's just slowly lower the chin, bringing your chin down to your chest. And then raise up your head. You're just going to look up towards the ceiling, don't strain the neck. And then slowly lower your chin down. And again, raise the head and look up. Coming to center now, you're going to turn your head to the right and to the middle. Turn the head to the left, back to the middle. Notice how far you can turn to your right. What can you see? Back to center, and then same thing, turning to the left and back to center. You're going to take your right hand now, place your right hand against your right cheek and turn as far as you can to the right. When you've gone as far as you can, you're going to press your hand into your cheek. You're going to press your cheek into your hand. Like there's that resistance there that's stopping you from turning. We're creating an isometric contraction. You're working against your own strength. Probably feel this down through the left side of the neck. And then when you release your hand, just see if you can turn a little bit further and come back to the center. Same thing other side. So we turn the head to the left as far as we can. Place your hand against your cheek and just turn your head into your hand into your head. Pressing. Maybe start to feel the muscles twitching a little bit with this. And then release and just see if you can turn your head a little bit further. Feel like an owl now. Come back to center. Drop your right ear down to your shoulder. Lovely stretch through the left side of the neck here. And back up. And over to the left side. And back up. Over to the right. And lift. And back to the left. And lift. You're going to take your right ear to your right shoulder and just drape your right hand so your fingertips are touching your left ear. We don't want to pull on the head, you just want to let the weight of your arm release through the neck. And you can take your left hand down to the floor, maybe walk your fingers out to the side if you want more of a stretch. Breathe. And as you breathe, imagine you're breathing into this left side of your neck, inflating the tissues there. And as you exhale, feel them release and lengthen. Good. Let's release that hand. Roll your chin down to your chest. Raise your head back to center. And if you close your eyes for a moment, can you just feel that one shoulder is maybe feels a little bit higher than the other? So let's even ourselves out. Drop your head to the left. Just going to drape the left hand so your fingertips touch your ear there. Right shoulder is heavy. We can spider the right fingers out. Remember, you're not pulling on your head. You're just allowing the weight of that left arm to be really heavy. Breathing into the right side of your neck. And release your hands and slowly roll your chin back to the center. So often when we have issues in the back of the neck, it's because of the position of the head. So particularly in our modern lives, we spend a lot of time looking at screens. Maybe you're on your phone a lot looking down, maybe you're typing at your computer, or even just reading a book. All of this brings the head into a forward position. Now, a human head weighs between 9 and 12 pounds. And that's a lot of weight to be supported on the top of the spine. And for every inch your head moves forwards, the weight, the strain, the force on the muscles of your neck is increased by a further 10 pounds. So if the head is a couple of inches forward of where it ought to be, then the strain on the muscles in the back of the neck is immense. Okay, so we're doing a little movement now just to try and adjust that. First of all, you're just going to push your chin forward, like your chin is on a little shelf, and then slide it back. Extend straight forward, and then slide your chin back. So we're not dropping the chin down, we're just moving backwards and forwards. And the next time you're in that position with your chin tucked in, just should have a little double chin going on there. Just hold there, bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, and you're going to push your head into your hands. You're going to push your hands into your head, so you really feel the muscles in the back of the neck working. I like to do this when I'm driving my car and press the back of my head into the headrest just to get some length in the back of the neck. And then you're just going to keep the hands in that position, but stop with the pulling and the pushing and let your head bow forward. And again, the weight of the arms is just kind of draping there, creating a nice bit of length, bit of traction through the back of the neck. You might even want to just sway from side to side here. It's quite nice just to play with that stretch in the back of the neck. And then release your hands. And just roll your head very slowly across to the right, bringing right ear to right shoulder. Rolling across the front, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And then coming back to the center. Raise your head up, bring your shoulders up by your ears and roll across the back of your neck from shoulder to shoulder. And the more you lift up your shoulders, the more you can feel that pressure as the back of the skull rolls across. It's like giving yourself a little massage there. Okay, let's come back to center. Raise your head and just let the shoulders relax. Give them a little shake, maybe a little circle backwards. And then we're going to take a deep breath. As you breathe in, squeeze your hands into fists, squeeze your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders, your face. And then big sigh and let all that tension go. Breathing in, squeeze and hold, screw up your eyes, clench your teeth. And then big sigh, let it go. Last time, deep breath, squeeze and hold. And exhale and release and let go. So we store different emotions in different parts of our bodies. And often when there's a lot of tension in our shoulders, it indicates that we're carrying stress. And often the stress of the burden of other people's worries and problems as well. We tend to hold our personal stuff more in our hips. If we're carrying things for others, often we feel it in our shoulders. Just notice how the shoulders feel now. If you still have your legs crossed, we're going to cross them the other way. I'm just going to take a lovely deep breath in. The arms reach up overhead. And as you exhale, rotate to your right. Look back over your right shoulder. Inhale, the arms float up. Exhale, rotating across to your left. Inhale, the arms reach up high. Exhaling to the right. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, back to the left. Let's bring the arms overhead again. Inhale. As you exhale, just lower the hands down. I'm going to take a little side stretch here, opening into the muscles underneath the left armpit. You could place your left hand just underneath the armpit there and breathe into that space. Feel like you're breathing into your gills like a fish, opening between those side ribs. And we can take that top arm up. We could even reach it over. Do be sure to keep your left sitting bone grounded. And if your neck is tight, you might want to just look down at the floor, or we can gaze up to the ceiling if that feels okay. Lovely. Let's drop that left arm in front of the face and inhale and come up, and we'll slide the left hand away. Roll the right shoulder back. Just bring your right hand up onto the side ribs. Lovely deep breaths, breathing into your gills, feeling that opening. And you might choose to take your arm up. You might choose to reach your arm over. Keeping the right sit bone grounded. And remember, if your neck is a bit stiff, you can look down. Otherwise, the gaze is up underneath that top armpit. Good. And we'll drop the arm, drop the gaze, and come back up to center. Hands resting on the knees. We're going to do like a little cat movement here. So exhaling to round your spine, drop your chin to your chest. Inhaling, lift and open through the front body. Exhaling, rounding. Inhale, lifting and opening. Once more, exhale. Inhale as you open up and release. Okay, so just notice how your neck, your shoulders, your upper back are feeling right now. And then let's just straighten out the legs, give them a little shake. I'm going to come around onto all fours. So coming onto your hands and knees. Hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hips width apart. You may want to take a blanket, get some extra padding underneath your knees if you need to here. And then we're just going to sit back onto the heels, and already you should feel a lovely stretch out through your upper back. Let your forehead rest down on the mat. And just take a moment, take some nice deep breaths in that shape. And now pressing your hands down into the mat. We're going to inhale as you rise up onto the hands and knees. As you exhale, curl your tailbone under a little bit as you sit back onto your heels. Rising as you inhale up onto hands and knees. Sinking back as you exhale all the way onto the heels. Inhale, rise, movement follows breath. Exhale, sinking back and down. Next time we're on our hands and knees, let's stay there. We'll work a little bit in our Buddhalasana, cat's pose. So engaging through your bandhas, engaging through your core. We're going to exhale, rounding, pressing the hands forward through the mat. And inhale, draw your heart forward. Now imagine you're trying to pull your hands towards your knees. They're not going to go anywhere because they're connected through the floor. Exhale, you get that feeling of trying to push the hands forward. And as you inhale and you draw your heart forward, you get that feeling of trying to pull the hands towards the knees. Good. Try and focus on the upper back and the shoulders here, rather than allowing all the movement just to be down in the lumbar, which is a really flexible part of the spine. Less movement in the upper back, more movement in the neck. So we want to try to just focus on the upper back between the shoulder blades. Good. And then coming back into a neutral position. Now I'm going to take a little twist, which is lovely for tension in the shoulders. What you're going to do here is you're going to take your right hand, you're just going to thread it through in between your left wrist and your left knee. Back of the hand rests on the floor. You might want to use this left hand just to press into the mat. Now you shouldn't be loading your neck here. The head is free, you can move your head around. And if you do feel tension in your neck, if you feel like you're compressing the neck, it's probably because you've let your bum come forward of your knees. If you want to take this further, you could wrap this top hand around, maybe hooking your fingers around the top of your thigh. Nice deep breaths. Good, and then let's release that. Coming back onto all fours, and we'll take that stretch to the other side. So reaching through, dropping down onto the left shoulder, right hand presses into the mat. Push back through your right sit bone a little bit. And just checking in with the head, making sure you've got freedom of movement there. You can take your right hand around, hook it around the top of the left thigh if you wish. And then release, come back up onto all fours, and from here let's walk the hands forward, extending the arms for our melting heart pose, Anahartanasana. The hands are shoulder width apart. You're going to let your chest release down. Again, bandhas engaged, so we're not working too much into the lumbar spine, so draw your navel in and up, lift up through your pelvic floor, but let your heart and your armpits release down. And from there, just going to lift the head a little, look towards your hands. The elbows and the hands are shoulder width apart. You're going to shift your weight forwards, sinking forwards, tuck the toes under, and then push back through the heels to bring yourself into a forearm plank. If this is too strong for you right now, just drop the knees to the floor and rest. Otherwise, we're tucking the lower ribs in, holding there. Inhale. Exhale, use your breath to keep you focused. Well done. And let's drop the knees to the floor. Tops of the feet come to the mat. Drop your hips forward and down. Just into this lovely Sphinx pose. Shoulders down away from the ears. Feel your heart moving forward. Feel your shoulders drawing back. And then let's release down. Slide your hands back, lift up. Push back, sitting down onto your heels, lovely stretch out through the lower back. And then we're going to come up into a kneeling position. Now I know that kneeling doesn't suit everybody, so if you need to straighten your legs out, you can do. We're just going to sit, if you can, on the feet. We're going to roll the shoulders back. Now very often when we have pain and discomfort through the back of the neck and the back of the shoulders, that's not the cause of the problem. It's often said that it's the victim that screams, not the criminal. So here, the victim is the back of your neck. That's where you're feeling the pain and the tension. But the criminal can often be the shoulder moving forward. So the pectoral muscles are tight. We've got all this tension. The shoulders are rolling in. And these muscles get locked into this shortened position. The muscles in the back get locked into a lengthened position. And we've got this constant battle going on. So we're going to work to release through the front of the shoulders. So rolling the shoulders back and down, these lovely big circles. And then we're going to take the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, and just stretch your hands down towards your toes. Now when you do that, there's probably a tendency to flare out your front ribs. Try not to. Try to keep the front ribs tucked in, keep the shoulders drawing back, shoulder blades squeezed together. If you're more flexible, you might even want to lift your hands a little way away from your back. Nice deep breaths. Try if you can to press the heels of the hands together. And then we're going to take this forward. We're going to fold down, belly to thighs, ribs to thighs. Let your forehead drop. And we're just going to raise the hands as high as possible into the air. Slowly release your thumbs down to your lower back and let your arms flop with a thud down onto the mat. Slowly, slowly rise up. Another little shoulder circle round. We're just going to take a little lunge, so we're going to bring the hands forward. If you want to, you can come into downward facing dog here. So we come to the hands and knees and just lift and press back into down dog. If your shoulders are really tight at the moment, then maybe just stay on the knees and bring one foot forward. So we're going to bring the right foot forward in between the hands, and we're in a position to start our low lunge. Your knee is over your ankle, and you're going to just let the hips sink forward. Roll the shoulders a couple more times here, so we get this lovely feeling of opening up. And then we're going to take the hands behind the back, interlock the fingers, and just stretch towards the back of your left knee. If you're feeling strong, you can lift that back knee off the floor. If not, just keep it down. Lovely. Release the hands, step carefully back, either into down dog or just come onto the hands and knees. And then we can bring the left foot forward. So maybe you want to inhale and reach your left leg high, step it through. Maybe you're just sliding your foot through between your hands. Doesn't matter. What matters is that your knee is now over your ankle. We've got that nice alignment. So we come up, pressing through the feet, really active. Let's roll the shoulders again, opening up. And then we're just going to take the hands behind the back once more. Reach your hands down, squeeze the shoulder blades together. If you're feeling strong, you might want to lift that back knee away from the mat. If you're not, just keep it down. And then release. Place your hands, stepping back either to downward facing dog for a breath, or just coming straight back onto your hands and knees. And then we'll drop the knees to the floor and we'll sit back onto the heels and just bring your hands back by the side of your feet. Forehead resting down, shoulders melting around the shape of the legs. Imagine someone placed a warm blanket over the back of your shoulders. And slowly roll yourself back up. Now I'm just going to cross my feet behind me and sit behind my heels. If that doesn't work for you, then just bring the legs out in front of you in whatever way you find easiest. Okay, so I'm going to just bend in the right knee, crossing your foot over your left leg, and we're going to take a little twist here. So right hand comes behind the back, left hand to the outside of the right knee, and just inhale as you lengthen up through the spine, and exhale as you twist. Feel this right shoulder moving back. You've got space across the front of the shoulders underneath the collarbones. If you are more flexible, you might want to bring your elbow to the outside of the knee, but you're not fighting against yourself to do that. Let's release. Come across to the other side, so straighten out your leg, bend in through the left side, cross your foot over, and just wrap the right arm around. Lengthen through the spine as you breathe in. As you breathe out, find that rotation, gazing back to look over the shoulder. You might want to bring the elbow outside of the knee. Stay with the breath. Well done. Last breath in here, and then we're going to exhale to release. Just straighten out your legs. Let's take a little forward fold. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, lengthen forward. You might want to bend your knees here. If your lower back is tight, you might want to work with straight legs. And how far forward you come is completely up to you. So some of you, you're just going to have your hands on your knees. Some of you will be able to reach to the feet and beyond. Remember, yoga's not a competition. Not with yourself or with anybody else. Just be in a shape that gives you the feeling of opening up through the back of your body. That's all you're asking for. Stay with your breath. And then slowly, slowly, let's roll up. We're going to shift the hips towards the heels, and we're going to come down for our bridge pose. So slowly rolling down onto your back. Bring your feet in a little so your feet are hips width apart, heels line with the sitting bones. We're just going to exhale to curl the tailbone under, engage through your core here as you lift the spine one vertebrae at a time. You might just be coming up into your middle back. If you're more flexible, you might be able to come all the way up into your shoulders. Just enjoying that feeling of opening up, a little bit of length through the back of the neck. And you could take the hands underneath the body now and interlace your fingers and just reach your hands to that space between your feet. Pressing the little fingers down into the mat. Make sure that your knees don't drop out. Imagine you're holding a ball between your knees. Lovely. Let's release the hands, and from the top of the spine, slowly, slowly melt down. I'm just going to bring your knees into your chest. Deep breath in. As you exhale, curl your head to your knees and then release down. Okay, so you're going to want to grab your block now. Just going to roll to the side and come up into a seated position. Now you might find a block is too high for this. If it is, you could use a rolled up blanket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my block and I'm going to place it on the floor so that the bottom edge of my block lines up with my lowest rib. Okay, so feel into the back of the rib cage, feel where your lowest rib is, and then you're just going to come down onto your elbows. The bottom edge of the block here aligned under your lowest rib, and you're going to lean back over it. Have a little fidget around if you feel it's not quite in the right place for you. And what you should be feeling is a lovely opening through your chest. I quite like to fold my arms and take my arms over behind my head here. Lovely, slow, deep breaths. And of course, the higher the support underneath your back, the more of a back bend this is going to be. Enjoy that lovely open feeling in your chest. And then bring the arms down and just take the arms out to the side, palms facing up. Couple more breaths. And then to come out from this pose, slide your feet in. You're just going to roll off the block to one side, move the block away. Just rest on your back for a moment. Notice how your back feels. And then we'll take the arms out at shoulder height, palms face up. I'm going to bring the knees in towards the chest now. Squeeze your knees together, squeeze your ankles together. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, drop your knees to your right and turn your head to your left. Left shoulder is heavy, pressing down into the mat. Let's inhale, exhale, back to center. Take another breath in. As you exhale, the knees drop to the left, the head turns to the right. And lovely opening through the chest. Let's take another deep breath in. As you exhale, use your abdominal muscles to bring the legs back to center. Just going to hug the knees, raise your head towards your knees, tucking into Apanasana. And then lower yourself down. Little wriggle in the shoulders, move them down away from the ears. We're going to stretch out the legs and come into our Shavasana. Palms facing upwards, feet just flopping out to the side. Let go of the weight of your head. Let your shoulders melt into the mat. Following the gentle rise and fall of your breath. ready now, just give your fingers and toes a little stretch. You can take your arms over behind your head, lengthen out. Maybe stretch out the muscles in your face into a bit of a yawn. And then curling into a little ball and just flopping onto your right hand side and rolling around into a seated position. Just sit for a moment, let the hands rest on the knees. Close your eyes, just notice how your neck and shoulders feel. Maybe more energy flowing through, maybe tingling sensations there, just notice. And then we'll close the practice with 3 grounding breaths. Bring your hands together at your heart. I'm going to inhale as the arms float up, hands touch above the head. As you exhale, lower your hands down the centre of your body. Inhale, the arms float up, hands touch overhead. It feels like a wave of calm comes down over you as you bring the hands down. Last time, the arms float up on the in-breath. This time, as you bring your hands down, touch your thumbs to your forehead, Ajna chakra, centre of knowing, to your heart, centre of compassion. Namaste. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope your neck and shoulders feel a little bit better now. And if you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you again in class. Thank you. Namaste.